Is it possible that vaping could cause any type of GI issue? Well, let's find out on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right here by my side. If you are watching us on YouTube, you see her beautiful face. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are a first-time listener, boy, are you in for a treat today. And if you're one of our regular listeners, you are also in for a huge treat. So today, we actually have a guest speaker, and it's actually been a couple years or longer since we've had a guest speaker. So I'm really excited. Tina invited her to join us on this podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tina take it away.
Okay, so we've got Francesca joining us today. Hi, Francesca.
Hi, hello there.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.
So Francesca and I actually connected about a year ago, and she found us online. She does not live in Arizona. She's not our patient. So Francesca, first start off by telling everybody how you found us.
Okay, so yes, I did find you guys online. I literally typed in Google functional GI, and you guys popped up. And I'm in Sarasota, Florida, but you guys popped up in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, that doesn't matter. I still need to get in touch with these people.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we did a consult probably last April of 2021. I looked, and you had expressed to me during the consult, I mean, you were hurting pretty bad back then. So I want you to tell everybody a little bit about kind of what you came to us for initially, what you were dealing with at the time.
Okay, yes. So when I first came to you guys, I was just in a very bad Crohn's flare. And at the time I was just seeking, tummy help. I wanted all the tummy coaters, the digestive enzymes, the detox, all the good stuff, and to really heal my tummy and to put myself back into remission. So that was my first goal. That's what I thought my biggest problem was.
Right. Yeah, and then you had started taking some supplements, and then you were also seeing a doctor there by you. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so I was taking some supplements from just different doctors, you guys too, and the doctors I was seeing here, some of them could help me, some of them weren't helping. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put my own team of doctors together, you guys being included. Started taking the supplements. Some things were working, and I could tell some things were not working. Some things were kind of going awry. And what was the second half of your question? I'm sorry.
Well, actually, before Tina gives you the second half of the question, were any of the doctors you were seeing, were you seeing a gastroenterologist? Were you under the care of a GI doc?
Okay, yes. So my GI from years past had retired. Okay. And so I was seeking a new GI for quite some time. I had seen, I think, 2 prior locally in the same group. I kind of switched to just see what was a good fit. Mm-hmm. And then I'm trying to remember how I found this other doctor here in Sarasota, Florida. I think just word of mouth. And someone told me that he knows a little bit about holistic health.
Very cool.
But he's also a GI, so he kind of has his toes in both waters.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, I wanted you to comment on, you didn't give up, right? I mean, you kept on your journey, you kept getting tests done. So talk about the tests that really, I think, made the biggest impact on you figuring out what was going on with you.
Yes. So I had every test known to man done, making sure I wasn't diabetic. I was having sugar crashes, regular blood workup, all of that. And then what really hit me was when I started to realize I couldn't make it through the night. into the next morning to get the blood work done. You have to fast. And I was having such a problem fasting. I was getting shaky and I couldn't do, I was very inept during the night. So some of my blood work has been put on hold. But the one blood work that I did get to do was half blood work and half saliva. That had heavy metals in it. And that was from a functional doctor, just like you guys too. She works she doesn't have her own private practice, but she worked in a Western facility, but did both Western and Eastern medicine. And in a lot of her tests were just things I've never seen before, things I've never gotten tested before, things I never heard of. And heavy metals was on there. And she goes, it took a couple weeks to get the results. And when I met with her in person, she looks at me, looks at the test, and my mercury was in the toxic level, like off the charts. And she goes, how are you standing? How are you walking?
Wow.
And I laughed and I'm like, what do you mean mercury? And I'm thinking, I don't know, I use colloidal silver a lot, maybe, on wounds or this or that, or I'm trying to think of anything that could have been mercury, but I didn't think it was that. So that was the first test. But at the time I was so sick, I didn't even know where to go. So I kept having tests done. My crashes were getting really severe, like you feel like you're about to faint kind of a crash. So I went to another doctor and had more testing done. And he also did heavy metals test. Now that was interesting. That was a hair sample from the back of my head. And that showed I was actually in the reference ranges of not being like toxic. I was like, he said I was okay. And so he's followed his protocol, like, okay, like all my other patients, let's start chelating you naturally. We'll do cilantro, we'll do this and that and the other. And my intuition, my gut, I'm very in touch with my intuition. And it told me, no, something's not right. Do not take all this. Something's not going right. But all of 2021, I'm not kidding, I did detox a lot. I did take certain detoxers, certain things like even spirulina, like those some grains can be very detoxing. Black pepper, cinnamon. I'm beyond sensitive. My mother and I joke I'm like an alien. But so I've had plenty of tests done. But I'll be honest with you, the one doctor who saw it was off the charts wanted to help me. She ended up moving and had family things and is not here locally anymore. So I had to figure things out without her. And then the other guy who saw that I was in the reference ranges, he wasn't listening to me when I told him that all my crashes were so severe. So I had to do some diving and I just Googled everything until I found Connie Fox. She's like the mercury doctor of the world now.
Wow. Dr.
Klinghardt was, and he passed away. But he treated her, and now she's kind of leading on his legacy, if you will. So I'm kind of in her care now, for the most part, from mercury. Yeah. And
talk to us about where the mercury is coming from, because to me that was the most interesting thing. Like, talk about your journey with the mercury.
Yes. Okay. So I do have a crazy story. It's about a 5-year crazy journey, if you will. But in 2016, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And at the time, I just go to my doctor. They gave me all these different pills, immunosuppressants, different biologics. Everything made me sicker and sicker and sicker. Nothing was working. I was losing weight. I had no quality of life. There was a bout that I actually did not sleep 19 days.
Wow.
For 19 days.
Oh my goodness.
I was hospitalized, I think 2 or 3 times during that period. Wow. All the ER docs were like, I don't know, stop all your supplements. I don't know. Heart palpitations. Electrical shocks from the inside out. These things were crazy things that I was experiencing. But in 2016, that was just Crohn's disease. But that was also the year that medical marijuana became legal in the state of Florida. And so me and my holistic mother were like, at the time, we're learning about holistic health. And we're like, oh my gosh, plants over pills. Yes, this is what I need. This is what's going to save me. We read so many articles and research about other patients from, kids up to adults and elderly, being treated with medical marijuana being treated for Crohn's disease with medical marijuana. And so we knew the evidence was there. We just needed to get our hands on it. So we drove to Tampa, and when we first went to that dispensary, my mom goes, "We're making history." And we did a little cheer, and we thought we were doing great. Well, we thought we were doing great, but they only had vape pens at the time. They didn't have any other methodology, no edibles, no anything else, no tinctures, no even flour, nothing, no other modality. It was just the vapes. But at the time we were like, great, this is fantastic. So I got off a lot of pills, a lot of supplements they were just making me sicker. And so I started vaping, and things were going pretty okay just for a few months, I think, as I adjusted to the big switch. And then it's a little fuzzy, but random things started to happen, like head pressure that was so severe. I had my best friend, who's a hairdresser, I had her cut my hair. So I'm like, wow, my hair is too heavy. What's going on with me? Like, I don't get this. And so really weird, bizarre things were starting to occur. I had little bouts of vertigo that I did not realize was vertigo until now. The chronic fatigue was horrific. I have a list on my phone of over 30, 40 different ailments that I've experienced over the past 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
So the kicker is that was the modality they had, and I was treating myself for Crohn's disease in that method. Mm-hmm. Years go on, I'm living life.
You're not really living life.
Yeah, sorry.
Pretty sick.
Not living life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live life to the fullest. It's not working, but I meet some people who know holistic healing, and I start doing electrodermal screening, which is like a frequency-based treatment. Mm-hmm. Pretty powerful stuff. And so I started doing that, and I got better. But again, I thought it was Crohn's disease. So little mind warp, if you will. But now I look at the past 5 years, and this electrodermal screening that I was doing was actually chelating me every time I did it, which I did it either once a month or like bi-monthly. Mm-hmm. And now I know what was actually happening to my body. I was vaping and poisoning my body without knowing it for the past 5 years, up until November of this past year of 21, when I finally realized what it was. And this is the scary part, that I now have met other people that deal with what I deal with, and how just crazy of a ride it is till you actually figure it out. Where I would take a puff of my vape pen and I started to have rashes on my arms, and I thought it was stress rashes. So I just didn't think anything of it. But then it got so bad they would burn, and I could actually correlate. If I took a puff, it would burn. And that right there was when I knew something was going on with this vape pen. Mm-hmm. What is this?
Wow.
The other one too was the nerve pain. That's the two things that made me identify, were rashes that showed up on my arms and nerve pain that shot down my legs into my feet. Mm-hmm. And I took like an example trial. I'm like, okay, all day today, just don't vape. Like if you have tummy pain, if you're no pain, whatever. It also helps with fatigue too. So if I'm fatigued, I would take a puff. So I just told myself to trial this, and I did. And the nerve pain subsided, and I didn't have burning rashes.
Wow.
That's when I was freaking out a little bit, I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. And everything over the past 5 years, episodes, weird things that occurred, hospitalizations, ER trips started to make sense as I Googled mercury toxicity.
And the mercury, talk a little bit about the mercury with the vape pens. Let's talk about how it's coming from the battery and what happens with the battery.
The battery.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So when you press the button on a vape pen, or even if it doesn't have a button, you inhale it. Mm-hmm. There is a method that is heating up in there. There's something that's heating up in there. And the research that I did even dates back to 2016 in Florida, that shows trace well, not even trace, for me it's a lot, but people were being exposed to heavy metals like lead, arsenic, mercury, there was a few more, from vaping, where you're heating up a device from the battery. And when you inhale that, it's like the liquid, or, it's vape when you inhale it, but the way that it turns from the liquid into the vape, that method, you literally get some heavy metals in your inhale. So now I sit here, this is where I laugh. This is where my mom and I now we throw our hands up and laugh. It's settled in my face. A lot of the mercury has settled in my face. So there are times throughout the day where I cannot move my forehead, and I have to eat a certain nutrient, like a protein shake or a banana. Those are the two things that I'm really trapped in right now throughout the day with my crashes. And so that's the mercury. A lot of the mercury has settled in my face, and the other one is the sun. So if I got in the sun and it hits my forehead, there's some weird chemical reaction that happens in my face, and it causes vertigo. So driving is excruciating sometimes. Maybe that's not the right word, but is nauseating, I would say. It causes the vertigo with the motion and the sun. So they call it mercury madness for a reason, because you are literally trapped in just this craziness, and you're not just sick like a normal person. Like, I've been sick before. I've had Crohn's, like I've autoimmune. And yes, I did see a doctor who slapped me with the term fibromyalgia, which years ago I had no clue what it was. Now I know it's all heavy metals and things you need to chelate and detoxify your body. And then people are cured of fibromyalgia, which your normal doctor will never tell you that. But yes, things like that are curable, that I've realized. Another quick one that I want to throw in there too is Dr. Sebi. He was a big guy that helped me along my journey. People will say, this or that can never be cured. He did. He cured a lot of people of crazy things. I'm not going to state them, but crazy ailments. And they brought him to court and said, here, prove one person that you've cured of something. He brought 77. And so I dove into his research, and a lot of herbs, a lot of very healing, and they cure things rather than put Band-Aids on them. So I go from vaping medical marijuana, thinking I'm doing such a holistic thing, which now I'm like, no, it's not at all. And now I'm doing herbs and tinctures, so I'm on the right track now, honestly.
So you're doing it through tinctures, and then what are the herbs? Like how does that delivery?
Well, some of them are ground. I do have an acupuncturist who grinds them in his office. So yes, currently it's an array, I'll be honest. It's an array of healing modalities. So some of the tinctures I have, let's see, the nettle leaf tincture, I have a DGL tincture. The list can go on. Looking right here, butyric acid. That's a good healer for anybody with leaky gut. But I will say too, the whole thing that I have to do, the premise of what I'm doing currently and what I'm about to, all the things I'll list, is to heal my leaky gut. So all of 2021, when I was even taking your detox supplements, and I was taking oil of oregano tinctures, beautiful natural antibiotic, learning from beautiful holistic health people, practitioners, just diving into holistic health. 2021, I actually was detoxing in so much, and I'm like, yes, this is great. We're feeling like crap. We're detoxing. Yes,
too much.
We want that. But yeah, then all of a sudden, actually my uncle, he said to me one day, he's like, so is it working? And I thought to myself, I said yes in the moment. But later when I went home, I'm like, all right, God, when do I start feeling better? I'm done detoxing. I'm done with the fevers. I'm done with the shakiness. I'm done with the yuckies. When do I feel better? And that's when I found Connie Fox and all the other doctors. So the things I take now, they're not for mercury. None of the things I take currently are for mercury. I can't even detox anything. I actually did a foot bath, and that was too detoxing. It recycled my mercury. So what happens, I'll just explain. I know you guys know from the medical standpoint, but for people listening, if you have such a poor leaky gut and you have any heavy metal toxicity, hence fibromyalgia or other things like that, you want to detox that out. You want to chelate. And the way we chelate is you excrete it out when you go to the bathroom. So I'm thinking I'm doing great. But no, you actually are recycling your mercury or your heavy metals or whatever yuckies are in your gut because your gut is so permeable and leaky. Mm-hmm. So once I met Connie Fox, she was the angel that I met that said, no, we want to heal your leaky gut first. Mm-hmm. Once we heal your leaky gut, then that's when you can chelate all the mercury out. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And even both of the doctors who tested me for mercury, the first one was going to put me on alpha lopaic acid. That's a no-no in Connie Fox's world. You don't take any of that until step 4, when your body's ready to detox. Mm-hmm. So I'm a part of her 4-step program now. Step 1, stop poisoning your body with the mercury, however that is. Did that in November. Step 2 is heal your leaky gut. And then step 3, prepare the body for detoxing. And there's a few things I'll be taking that are different there. And then step 4 is where I can take your detox supplements again and your super grains again and things that I would love my body to have in step 4 when I can actually detox.
Yeah, and you can benefit from them. Crazy. Yeah, so right now as part of your step 2, you're doing the enzymes at least, right? To heal with the leaky gut.
Yes, so that's a beautiful thing too. Yeah. Connie Fox has met other people who are even too sensitive for probiotics and digestive enzymes. I was in the middle. I actually I suffer so bad if I don't have a digestive enzyme before I eat. So yes, I do take the digestive enzymes, and I have, I think, 2 bottles of the probiotics, but I have to wait on those. That's part of step 3 when I'm preparing the gut to chelate.
Cool.
But yeah, I was taking them for a while till I figured out kind of what step I needed to do first.
Yeah. Good. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Francesca.
Really appreciate it and hope that, it touches other people who might be experiencing similar things like what you're experiencing.
Yeah, I'm glad I can get my story out. I know there's other people that are, I think, suffering in silence. And these things, sometimes they just aren't taught in medical schools, and it's not their fault. It's the world we live in. We go to the doctor and they tell us what they know. And it's kind of our bodies. You just listen to your body, connect with the right people. So yeah, if there's anybody out there that is listening, you're dealing with any crazy symptoms, electrocutions from the inside out that you can't explain, if you're not sleeping for days, I can put my email. I can give my email to you guys. Okay. I do want that because I can connect people with Connie Fox and just kind of, if I can help one person who's suffering like me, I'll be happy. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm glad to help anyone.
Yeah, I'll put your email in the description of the podcast. So if people want to connect with you, they can. Okay.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for having me, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francesca. It was so nice meeting you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we'll stay connected.
All right,
okay. Take care.
Bye.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye. That was awesome. That was great. So listen, if any of you is having any issues, digestive issues, I mean, it doesn't even have to be specifically digestive issues, as you heard from Francesca, but please connect with us. Go to our website, drlizcruz.com. There's a purple button right in the middle where you can click and schedule a free wellness consult with us. That's our gift to you. It's a 30-minute and it's over the phone. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can do it from wherever you are, from the comfort of where your home or work or wherever. And we'll get you set up for that. And then if you have not subscribed to our podcast, please subscribe. It'll help you not miss any episodes. And please rate us also, because if you rate us, it'll help other people like you to find us. All right. Well, we are so appreciative of Francesca and the time she spent with us. Thank you so much to you for spending time with us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.